Hey, what's up, Silas here? Just a short video about two things with the revolutions and protests and taxes and things like this. There's this thing going on in France right now. I think it's the truck drivers and people like this. There's a high tax on gas, on petrol. You used to call it petrol there? Petrol or gas, fuel, anything. So diesel fuel, whatever, there's a really high tax on it. And the truckers who work on really thin margins, these people just work on thin margins. I guess in some cases they have to pay for the gas that they're using, probably comes out of their paycheck, some kind of deal. Or they might be actually independent contractors and they sign up with a bigger company and then the company. But anyway, the truckers are in the streets. People are really not happy about this. Two things about this. Just a taxation thing that I'll tie into something else. But I was just talking about how, or was just noticing how there's recently been different riots in different places by migrants and things, and you have certain people in the alt-right, or people on the political right. I'm in those circles a lot. I go to websites and things like that, and you see, oh, look at these people rioting. Ah, these are so ungrateful. But I'm just thinking, it's like the French were like, okay, these these migrants have been rioting. Let's show them how to do it because they're doing it a lot more. They're throwing things, firecrackers at the police. They're actually in Champs-Élysées, which is the actual the Champs-Élysées is where the Arc de Triomphe is in the center of Paris, whereas these ones with the migrants were these kind of offshoot in the ex-burbs of the city or in smaller towns up north, I think in Normandy, some beach town and things like that. And yeah, of course you can argue like what were the migrants rioting over versus what are these people rioting over, and also they are French. But anyway, another thing about the French is that a lot of people talk about the surrender monkeys or something. They talk about their actual losses and misfortunes in the recent wars and things like that in Europe. But what are the French most famous for? One of the things they're most famous for is the French Revolution. Vive la Révolution! So they're actually taking people down. I'm just waiting for an actual video of the First Lady of France somehow eating cake in like some small off the side like cafe or something as the rioters are rioting in the back, and then it'll be completely Marie Antoinette. And Marie Antoinette never said that whole let them eat cake thing. But just anyway, this whole idea that the French are these laid back kind of folk. I don't really quite buy into that, but they are famous for the revolution. They actually helped the Americans in the actual American Revolution. They came in and on the side of the Americans and helped. So there's all these things people can fight, and it's kind of interesting seeing how this is developing. Now, another thing I'm tying into this is with the taxation. Online, there's this thing called there's this what's the app called? There's different apps, Snapchat and then like Instagram, where you can go on, you can just post things for free, have a free account. But then you can have special accounts, private accounts, where people can pay you extra to follow you and be a subscriber. And then apparently some women are on there, going on there, and then you subscribe, you pay them extra, and they actually end up sending you nude photos or doing different kind of cam. They're being called cam whores and Thots, like that hoe over there. Now it's being changed to that hoe ought to pay taxes, or where was it? Anyway, so what's happening with this situation is people are reporting them to the IRS. I don't know if this is happening or not. I looked online a bit. Some people were saying this is actually fake. It's not actually happening. But apparently some of them are actually being reported to the IRS for not actually filing taxes with that money that's coming in. And there's been some responses from people saying, sex workers out there, you need to actually worry about this. You need to watch about this. People are trying to say, oh, you just hate women that you're doing this. You're attacking people like this. But no, what is it about hating women? This is not about hating women. First of all, this already shows that men can't really do this. There's not too many men in that field who are just being paid to just be seen. Yet you have some women talking about how, oh, we hate being objectified. It's so horrible. It's so unfortunate. It's so misogynist that we're objectified this way. Yet you have an entire field of women who count on it, who actually count on that happening. There's just memes coming out saying like, okay, if sex work is an actual job, then it should be taxed like another job. And now I did 2 recent videos talking about, is sex work a thing I can use when I'm talking about economics, because that's the valid jobs. You're taking away any of the moral aspect of it, saying women are forced to do this. Because in this situation, these are women who are just at home. They choose to get online and choose to get these people. These people decide to follow them. And then they decide to take their clothes off or do whatever they had for the money. And now people are saying, oh, you're taking away source of income for these women. You hate these women. Why don't you just go away? But like Obama said, I think this is going to make some people realize, like that thing Obama said, he was like, okay, you didn't build those roads, you didn't do this. So these women might be thinking, I'm just sitting at home, it's my own physical body, but you are using the internet, this information superhighway. You didn't build the internet, you didn't build the electricity, you didn't build the cameras. So why should the companies who provide the internet, who sell and build cameras and computers and things like that, why should Snapchat or Instagram, who's an actual company that's actually running these services that you're using, actually be taxed and things like that? And then you're not being taxed for the income you're making off of it. This is going to, I think, show some more people that, yeah, taxation is actually some form of extortion. Why aren't these people willing to pay their fair share? Now they're freaking out about this. So you have something in France where the people are like, okay, it gets to a certain point where, yeah, we're going to accept the high level of taxes that they have in France in general. They're going to accept government protections and things like that that mess with the market, reunionization, changing the work hours, minimum labor, and things like that. Yet, when it gets to the point where, like, okay, to pay for all these things that the government wants to give you, they have to raise taxes. Now you're like freaking out. No, we don't want the taxes raised on our thing. Coming back to these women, it's like they're like, oh, Donald Trump needs to be more open about his taxation. Oh, we need to have a socialist free this, universal this. No, 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 we can't. You can't, because that's being paid through taxation. We need to be treating sex workers like they're actual official jobs. Sex work is a respectable job. If it's a respectable job, then it should be over the table. You should just pay taxes like everybody else, or we just shouldn't have taxes. How about that? How about we get to the point where we just have more people realizing that whenever you have more state involvement, more taxation, there's going to be all these issues in it. And the last thing, I also did a video talking about honesty. I'm trying to do a series on honesty. And what do you guys think about it right now with that whole situation? Where it's like, okay, reporting people to pay more taxes. If you think taxation is coercion, then would you want to be like, oh, there's somebody who's a thief? If people say taxation is theft, you know there's a gang that breaks into homes occasionally and there's been broken into your home, but some reason they can't actually get caught, you can't prove it, or everyone has accepted this gang exists, but you know somebody who's living somewhere hidden off in the woods, occasionally has a small little house out there. Would you tell that gang, like, okay, since you're already stealing from all of us here on the main road with our addresses and things, that these people who are hiding there go break into their homes? Is that the equivalent when you're turning in these people saying, like, go get the taxes from this internet, these cam whores or these thoughts? Is that the equivalent thing? And I, I don't know. I don't know. You guys let me know this. I know some people are saying, like I'm saying, I'm thinking this is going to get them to get to a point where they realize what it is more. And I doubt they would vote in the same way the next time. I'm just thinking this is going to get people to vote for less taxes, I think. And it might just be like the Republicans, or the Republicans are against taxes that the people on the left are, which is more social services, yet they're okay for taxes as long as it comes to things like the military and things like that. Whereas it's the other way around. People on the left are like, oh, we don't need taxes for military, we don't need a big military, but we need this expansive welfare state. So do these things just get people to be more aware of the taxes that they're being taxed, or just taxes in general? So what do you guys think about that? That's it for this video, I think. Like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye. So let me see if I can apply the Thomas Sowell 3 to this. So compared to what? If you don't tell these people about this, I mean, don't tell the IRS, what happens? I guess they just keep making the money and keeping it without paying taxes. They keep just being who they are, and they keep thinking economics is just what it is and the way it is. So I guess, okay, at what cost? What cost is it for you to actually tell them? Just besides your time, it doesn't really change. It's not going to drop your taxes or raise your taxes at that time. Okay, and then now the last one would be, what solid proof do you have? In this kind of situation, what solid proof do you have that person's not filing taxes, or that they're actually going to change their mind? But some of these people are actually coming out and giving people online other instructions on how to avoid taxes with their names. And somebody pointed out that these people are actually accepting money through an app that's going to a bank account with their social security number that's tracked like this, and they're not paying taxes on it. And people are like, there's no way they're doing this. But people do this on a regular basis. Sometimes you see some really wealthy people and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't pay taxes. Like Wesley Snipes is a good example. You're like, how do you not pay taxes? Why are you going to jail for this? But that's when you think somebody's doing it. There's accountants doing all these nasty things here and there. But on the lower level, a lot of people actually don't pay taxes. So in income taxes, the top 1% in the United States of America pays about 40%, 39.48% of the taxes. The top 50% pays 97.25% of the taxes. So when you're talking about this fair share thing, Where's it at? And another thing, the IRS, yes, there's a lot of people working for this thing, but then if you're online actually talking about not having paid taxes or how to actually avoid it, these people can find you. They will actually get your data. But the IRS and these other people, they prefer having a fewer people with large amounts of money to tax. It's a lot easier to do than to try and find millions of people to tax that same amount in. So, funny stuff. Anyway, get some merchandise. Thomas Sowell 3, other merchandise as well. Links below. Goodbye.